Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Video Truder, and welcome back to Imperator Rome, where last time, things came together for us very, very nicely indeed, and now, I would say, we are a player on the world stage. We have a decent-sized empire, a good economy, plenty of manpower, plenty of armies. We are ready to start making some big moves now, and today I've got some really good ideas. Don't worry, I've got a plan. But first, a couple of corrections and so forth. That's right, everyone's favourite bit of Crusader Kings 2 is coming back. Let's talk all about the things that John got wrong. Though actually, in my defence, the first thing that John got wrong isn't actually something that John got wrong. It's something the game got wrong. I pointed out, I think it was 2 parts ago, I was surprised that I was investing so heavily in manpower, but I didn't seem to be getting so much out of it. That's because that episode was recorded with version 1.0, which had a bug in it regarding manpower. A small rounding error. Now that probably doesn't sound like a big deal, but bear in mind in Imperator Rome, everything that you're owning is being generated by your cities independently, all of them being calculated separately from each other. So for example, the amount of money I'm getting in, which is very, very healthy right now, that's being generated from each city. So say this city over here is generating 0.6, this city over here, 0.56, this city over here, 0.63, and the same is true for manpower. Plus 7 manpower right there, plus 5 right there, plus 2 right there. So small mathematical errors can actually add up to a fairly big effect, which is what happened with manpower. Now that's been fixed as I've moved over to the current version, yeah, manpower is coming in a lot more quickly. Though of course taking over a big amount of territory has had a big impact too, but yeah, it was definitely artificially low when I pointed out that it was odd it was coming in so slowly. Next up, something John actually did get wrong. The Siege of Megalopolis. I was very confused by who was the siege leader. Thank you to the comments who gave me an update on this. So the siege leader is whoever gets there first. But if there are multiple armies present and then the siege leader leaves, nobody seems to know how it's decided. The best guess anyone was able to give me is it's the largest army present at that point. But it's all a bit mysterious. Short version, be the first person onto a siege if you want to be the siege leader. Otherwise it's very difficult to reliably take it over. So, for today, I've got some big targets in mind. But to make that happen, I'm going to need some money because we're still going to be dependent on mercenaries a little bit. Not least as my economy is in such good shape, it just feels like, yeah, that's a good thing I should be taking advantage of. I've got the money, I may as well be investing it into mercenaries or my own troops. But I don't want to throw my own army around too much, even though it's in decent shape right now, because, yeah, manpower maximum is 63,000, I've still only got 9,900 right now. I'd rather not have to drain that manpower again. I'd rather be relying on mercenaries if I can. Luckily, money's going to come in very, very quickly indeed, so I'm just going to actually let that money gather. But there's a couple of fun things I do actually want to show off here. In particular, road building, which is a thing I can now do. I think that's locked behind a certain level of civic tech, but I'm doing very well on the tech front, so that's absolutely fine. So, I've got my army standing over here right on the edge of my territory. Here we go. Build a road. IKEA pays 20 military. Fair enough, that seems like a good thing right there. So now, roads will be created. So I'm just going to send these guys over here to Ellis. Now as a result of that, they're going to be moving very, very slowly indeed. Because, oh look at that, they're actually digging up a road right now with a lovely little spade. Marvellous. And troops are also joining in because yes, I have actually been training some new troops just to join up with this army too. Lovely. And you can see here, this is really slowing them down a lot. They're not even going to reach Patri until June of this year. So, road building is slow business. So I may as well take these other units that I've actually got round over here, move them over to Ellis and start them building a road down in this direction. Because yeah, I'd like a road going around the outskirts of my empire, just so I can actually move around a lot faster. So you guys, no, you actually need at least 10 subunits to build a road. Fine, so a decent sized army is required to do it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave these guys at Patri just to make sure no one up north gets any stupid ideas. I would like to guard the strait whenever I can. And there we go. We have actually got ourselves a road created right there. So these guys have now actually successfully built a road between Patrai and Aegean. But that is a single road between cities. For every road you want to create, I need to pay another 20. So go on then. Let's actually just get this done right there. Fine, so it's 20 per road. You can't actually just pay the 20 and then send them a long way. And slowly over time, they will build a massive road. I see how it works. Slight problem here. The Archon has developed cancer. So, he's on his way out. Got it. He is 67 years old. Bit unlucky there. That doesn't mean he's going to die immediately, though. That means instead, his health is going to go down by 1% every month. We can offset that a tiny bit with a physician, but basically, it means he's got about 100 months to live. Which actually means, yeah, there'll probably be an election before he actually dies. So it's not actually going to affect us in terms of an emergency election or anything like that. Fine. So, let's see how good roads are at speeding up journey times. I'm down over here in Messina, and I want to travel up towards Elis. So basically, 2 cities over. Setting off at the beginning of April, I'm going to hit, the next city over at the end of April. Marvellous. And then the 25th of May to hit Elis itself. Lovely. In short, it took me about a month and a half to do that. But now if I want to move over to Aegean, now I've actually got roads down. From the 26th of May, I'll arrive in the next territory over on the 8th of June. Absolutely lovely. And by the way, we've actually got open temples. Yeah, open temples every single time because that's a free stability. And that is amazing. Stability up. Love it. So yeah, we're going to get there over on the 8th of June. And once we're actually there, we're then going to arrive on the 18th. 10 days. Right, so the travel time is massively reduced. Got it. Also, people want to buy stuff from me, and that's just beautiful. So, we currently have a surplus of 2 in Laconia. We don't need that. And as a result of that, export the wine to Sparta. Army maintenance costs down 2.5% from export bonus. I will gladly do that. And you guys want to export fish from Crete. Crete currently has a surplus, but surpluses in sub-regions don't really do much, so go on. Export bonuses, that's actually, that's interesting. That's very interesting indeed. I hadn't really considered that before. So yeah, you can get an export bonus from any territory inside your entire empire. As long as you are exporting it, no matter where from, you're getting the export bonuses. So as a result of that, you probably don't want to ever really be exporting from your capital. Because your capital province, you're better off just stacking as many benefits as you can get. Your export bonuses, you want from elsewhere in the empire, if you can. Well, screw it. I'm just going to keep getting roads down. Roads seem like an excellent sort of thing to do, and I need to stash up some money anyway. Yes, so my fort maintenance is currently set to low. May as well get that back up to normal, not because I need it right now, but because otherwise I'll forget about it, then it'll screw me over later. Ooh, and with all this civic power, double pay for national manpower plus 5%, I'll be taking that, lovely. And I am sitting on a big old pile of oratory too. Hang on, what can we do in terms of law changes? Because there are some laws I haven't changed yet. So for integration right now, I'm getting 5% national freeman output. But devolved administration gets national unrest down -1. In short, less unrest, less productivity problems, probably better for the economy in general. Yeah, I'm going to take a 5% hit to national freeman output to actually get unrest down, because as we start expanding further and further afield, and into people who might not necessarily be culturally Hellenic, good idea. Let's just get unrest down as much as possible. Now, what's going on over here with Rome? Because, they seem to be struggling a little bit here. So, Apulia has declared war on them. The purpose of the war is, take Apulia itself, which is, hang on, just come out of here for a second. That's this province around over here. So they've already occupied large parts of that. They just need to take over these 2 territories right here. These 2 territories are not particularly well guarded. There's no fortresses there. So, in theory, if they take those 2, the war score starts ticking up in their favour. They might be able to actually take a bit of land off Rome, which would be pretty cool. But as for Rome themselves, Rome have made what I think is a bit of a mistake, which is they've started integrating their vassals, but their vassals were punching way above their weight in terms of providing troops to Rome. You see, Rome still only got 32 cohorts. The vassals down over here were providing like another 5, the vassals over here were providing like 10 or 15 or something ridiculous. As a result of integrating them, they're making relatively small amounts of money, but they've given up a very large amount of military support. And these guys over here are only providing 9 cohorts, so actually, Rome these days only has about 41 cohorts total to call upon. Apulia, meanwhile, has 62. In short, Rome could actually be in a bit of trouble. Yeah, that's the funny thing about subject states, of course. Even if they're only tiny, they get a certain amount of base income for free just because those are the rules of the game. So you can actually support a decent-sized military of 5,000 or 6,000 troops very easily just off your base income, even without any trade whatsoever. Add some trade in, a tiny empire can very easily support 10,000 troops if that's what it's determined to do. So tiny vassals, if they're loyal, can very much be worth keeping rather than integrating, just because they can maintain more troops on their own than you'll be able to afford by absorbing them into your territory. Also, I can't help but notice, Carthage actually has a single city on the Italian mainland. And Carthage are currently at war with Rome too. Ah, no, hang on, that war's come to an end. Right, there was a war, but now there's a truce. It was just a war of show superiority. I'm not sure we can check how it ended, however. So right now, yeah, Rome is entirely dedicated to taking on these guys, but they seem to be doing pretty well, all things considered. In fact, they now hold 26 territories, officially making them a regional power. I could ally with them. Right now they won't say yes because, yeah, we're a little bit different from each other. They're a settled tribe, so as a result of that, yeah, they're not 100% keen on us. But actually, they don't hate us that much either. I might want to start making a move in that direction. You know what, don't spend the oratory just yet, but if they win that war versus Rome, I think me and them should start being friends. Ah, but bad news for Apulia. It looks like Rome is fighting back. Some of that territory is flipping back to neutral. Dear oh dear, I'm not sure why they're not doing better. They've definitely got the troops. They've got the manpower to recover. Rome's manpower is basically almost drained, so there's only so much they can do. And as a result of the trade with Sparta, we've got an event here. So, there's been a splendid return investment, spot on, and along with the flow of wealth between our two states, the movement of people is accelerating. The city of Patra has been blessed with a wave of fresh migrants who believe they stand a better chance of building their lives in Aegean. Who are we to deny them? So these are basically Spartans who have shown up to join my territory. So, either I can say citizen and citizen in Patrae, or, ooh, Sparta doesn't like me because I just enslaved some of their people, but I would get 4 Achaean slaves. Now, I'm going to be honest, I kind of need slaves, and Spartans are dicks, and when I say that, hang on, did Sparta ever do anything dickish to me? Or, no, I was just a dick to them. Fine, well, let's continue on with that because I desperately need more slaves. Sparta's not going to be thrilled about it, but I really do need slaves. Because without slaves, you can't generate artificial surpluses. And I need those. You know what, screw it. I like the moxie of these Apulia guys. I'm actually going to start improving their opinion of us. So, over time, they'll just start liking us more, and then eventually, if we're lucky, they might just join an alliance. They're also guaranteeing, yeah, Epirus and Brutia down to the south. So, no one I've got any problems with. Me and Epirus get on just fine. In fact, yeah, they import various goods from me. I like those guys. So, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But I feel like me and those guys, we could have a good future together. Not least as one day, I might actually need, yeah, a big, powerful force to help me take on Macedon, and they could be just the people to do it. And we've just lost the party leader of the merchant faction, so the current Archon has moved in to fill the gap. He is reasonable, actually, and look at that. The new military faction with the Charisma 8 leader, they are doing so much better, 20 seats these days. Though for the moment, actually, the populist faction is just winning, because, yeah, this guy is extremely prominent. I would ideally actually like to bring the military faction into power for the first time. That'd be kind of cool. The problem is, there aren't enough people in the military faction, so I've got nobody who I can actually make Tesmotete, because everybody's of the wrong faction, apart from this guy, who would be useless at the job. You know what? I've got literally no tyranny right now. I'm just going to give these guys a bit of a push. There we go, up to 30 seats with ya. And with that, this guy actually moves up to being the next leader. Love it. Because, yeah, military faction, morale of armies and navies up. And let's just say, when he takes over, we're going to have enough money to make some big things happen. I've got plans, damn it. And just to help out with that, yeah, I'll take monthly tyranny going down as well. That is very important in a republic, so that's a good invention to have right there. And I completely forgot that Crete is actually not on encouraged trade, because it's a different province. And it should be on encouraged trade, because that's the best one, and basically everything should be on encouraged trade all the time. Nothing too fancy here, let's just get some grain in to have this place grow a bit faster. And not from Egypt. Let's just say I've got reasons to not actually bring that in from Egypt. Also, we just got this event firing a second time, which feels like it shouldn't happen, but it's good, because that's 4 more slaves. Screw you, Sparta. Oh, so many slaves. That's a lot of slaves right there. In fact, yeah, that's basically half a surplus immediately, and that's really good news. And here we go. For the first time ever, we have actually got ourselves a military leader, and he's pretty damn solid. High charisma as well as high military. This is good stuff. Anything else we need to know about him? Freeman Happiness will be up because he is the governor of all of our territories by default. And happiness up even further. Marvellous. National tax goes up by 10% too, but Call Omen cost is more expensive because he's a bit skeptical about religion. Lovely. So, with him in play, let's talk about the big plan. And the big plan is, I'm going to attack Egypt. Now, that probably sounds like a really bad idea. And in some ways, it is. But there's a big interesting thing about Egypt, which is they've got literally no navy. Because they've got literally no wood either. They just don't have access to it in their empire. They could import it, but for some reason they don't. I'm not sure if they're hard-coded to not do so, to represent the historical reality that at the beginning of the game, the time period, Egypt didn't have a navy, so it should be difficult for them to get one back. But yeah, if you're playing as Egypt, just import some wood. I think Judea's got some right there. So yeah, for some reason the AI doesn't really want to do this. So they've got no way of getting their troops up to me if I were to attack them. Because obviously we're not planning to actually invade Egypt. They've got 56 cohorts together with, I swear they had giant piles of money a minute ago. I'm not sure where the money went. You know what? I can't call them out for that. I randomly managed to waste thousands of gold too. It's fine. Instead, I'd like to attack their one remaining vassal. Because yeah, over here, the former territory of Andros, they've already integrated these guys. And over here, I think they're planning to integrate their one remaining vassal, because these guys, hang on, here we go. Yep, opinion is being improved. Now, the only reason you'd really do that to a vassal is in preparation to integrate them. So you're probably wondering why I'd bother going to war for a handful of small islands. This tiny, tiny empire of what I believe is typically anglicised as Kos, though in the Greek I believe that's actually a longer, I think it would be like Kos, but screw it, I'll probably use both interchangeably, because I'm massively inconsistent on my pronunciation, so whatever. But why would I actually attack these guys? Well, it's because they're sitting on an incredibly valuable and rare resource. Here we go, right in their capital, silk. Commerce income up 15% in every province that has access to silk, which for me would be a huge, huge amount of money if I could just get hold of that and then export it to my other provinces, because that's where most of my money's coming from. 100%, I'm happy to go to war to secure silk. And yes, this is actually historically accurate. The island of Kos was historically the first place in the Aegean that had access to the silk trade. So yeah, this is actually really cool. Though weirdly, in real history, no one decided to actually invade them for it. Kos, in fact, has a remarkably peaceful history. Despite the huge amount of war and upheaval that happened around them, they basically haven't really been disturbed in their entire history. Mostly because the island favoured a policy of appeasement. So when the Romans showed up, they basically just said, you know what? You guys are in charge. That's cool. We won't be giving you any trouble. Welcome aboard. And as a result of that, yeah, they've had a very peaceful history. But that's real history. In my universe, they're about to get themselves invaded. I'd rather not use my army though. They're a bit busy at the moment and I'd rather they didn't actually take the attrition. So instead, I'll be using my massive surplus to get hold of some mercs. Still, may as well get the fabricate claim down right now. Yep, I'll be having this province off you. Lovely. And as for the mercenaries, sadly, yeah, there's some really useless leaders floating around, so I can't really make use of them. But I did find one group I was pretty happy with. Here we go, one group over here, 15.55 gold a month. Honestly, not even that much. I'm making a profit of, yeah, 13.5 right now. So I will very happily hire them, effective immediately. And they can just start walking in this direction. I'll pick them up on Lemnos. So my boats go in that direction. I trained a handful of extra boats just to handle the transportation of those guys. Now, watch out though. Egypt does actually have, yeah, a decent number of troops on these islands over here. The thing is, those troops can't really get to me, because Egypt can't access Phrygian territory. The Phrygians hate Egypt. So, here we are, army now being picked up, get them on the boats momentarily. On the 27th, they will actually enter the ships. We'll get them down to Crete, and we'll rest them there until we're ready to go. So you guys just head down here as fast as you can, drop the troops off there, we'll recover there, and, hello, the warm period. Apparently we've just had a really good harvest, absolutely marvellous. So population growth is up, national unrest is down, love it. In fact, incredibly, with productivity as high as it is, we are actually making a profit even with that many mercenaries hired. I love it. Now, if I could, I wouldn't mind actually going over here and taking some of this territory off the Egyptians. I'm just not sure whether that's actually going to fly or not. You guys, actually no, get over here on Knossos. You can rest up there. There'll definitely be enough supply there for you. There we go. They get off the boat right there. Morale can actually just slowly tick up over time. Everything is lovely. We're losing, there we go. We're losing a small amount of money, but it's barely anything at all. And the reason that's actually happened is the omen's just worn off. So screw it. Get Blessing of Hermes back on. I bet we'll actually be back into a profit. Ooh, not quite. We are right on the cusp of it. We are losing like under 0.00 gold. So we're pretty much perfectly balanced. Love it. And the civic faction wants a favour. They're willing to give me 50 religious power. Honestly, that's not a bad idea because, well, let's just say I've got another plan in mind and I'm going to be needing some religious power for that down the line. So, yeah, go on then. We'll actually get ourselves a bit more support from the civic faction and 50 religious power. But sooner or later, someone's going to call in these favours. Because I've actually been handing out a fair few favours and no one's called them in yet. Sooner or later, someone's going to. Now, as for my main army, I should probably stop them road building for the time being. Instead, time to bring them all back together and oh my goodness, they can walk along these roads so damn fast. This is just beautiful. We will actually, yeah, finish off a road down over here at some point, just so I can actually get around the Empire nice and quickly. But honestly, being able to run from Sparta, through Messini, up to Elis, and then round the north to the actual straits, that's pretty good. These guys are now moving around the Empire beautifully fast. I love it. But yeah, we'll draw the army together, just in case Egypt somehow manages to negotiate access, and as a result of that, threatens our homeland. So, you guys, bring them together, and now we've got ourselves 15,000 troops right there. And bringing a strength 9 general just for safety. So, there's no way Egypt can threaten us now. This is enough troops to kick them out of our territory, if they were even able to somehow attack us. The mercenaries are not quite at full strength yet. I'll let their morale get up a little bit further. I think we'll actually, yeah, just wait a handful of months, just to be sure we're safe. Though if I recall correctly, these guys only had like... yeah, they've got like 6 cohorts, though they've got enough manpower to train more, but no money. And the AI does have to play by normal rules. If they don't have the money, they can't train the troops. So as a result of that, yeah, I don't really need to worry about them training anything else. And go on, before we begin, I can afford a new invention, 5% to siege ability. Let's get that in play. Okay, that there is morale good enough. Time to begin the war. Now, declare war, that will actually introduce a bit of tyranny, unfortunately, but screw it. Yes, indeed. We do want to take over Carlia Literalis, but Macedon doesn't want to get involved. That's absolutely fine. I don't want Macedon involved. I don't need them involved. Egypt, of course, will come in to try and defend their vassal, but Egypt still has no ships and no way of accessing because Egypt and Phrygia hate each other. Alright guys, we're going in. So, we're going to take those... oh, hang on. Forcing this through the Senate wall. Oh, sorry, tyranny by 5. That's fine. I thought for some reason I was taking a stability hit. No, tyranny plus 5 is fine, actually. That's a-okay. And we're also no longer importing dates and papyrus and stone and... right, we've got a few trade routes that need fulfilling, because I've kind of just torn up a bunch of trade routes with Egypt. Alright, guys, get on the boats. Let's start taking this territory, because as soon as we've actually taken the province in question, war score starts ticking up in our favour. But honestly, I don't know what Egypt's going to do, but thanks to, yeah, visibility from Macedon, we can see if these troops actually make a move. So, ship moves over in this direction. 21,000 men head over here. That's massive overkill, but yeah, mercenaries, you can't split them up because, ooh, here we go. Spot on. So I see the 4,000 men right here. We can just wipe them out right now. So, even though we're doing a landing, their morale is very low right now because, yeah, they were on low pay. They will just be annihilated instantly. They'll all cease to exist. There we go. Job done. That will belong to us. Their forces have been pretty much eliminated. There's another one over there. We just need to go and take care of that. And then, that's it. We'll have taken the province. It will be remarkably easy to do. First, their navy has come out to play. And their navy has been absolutely trashed. So that's good too. Here we go. Now I can see what's actually going on here. So in particular, I've lost my dates. Which is a shame because I really like dates. So possibly I'll just float some of these trade routes open because, weirdly, people don't really hold a grudge about fighting a war against you, which is actually kind of historically accurate for this period, which is, especially in the Hellenic world, people would go to war with each other one year, then they'd be allied with each other the year after, war again the year after that, so no one really held a grudge because, you know, sometimes you went to war with people, sometimes you didn't. It was just a thing that happened. So if we look over here at Sparta, for example, they're really furious that we enslaved their migrants, and they're not thrilled that we've broken alliance with them, but there's no negative penalty whatsoever from the fact we literally fought a war against them. They just don't care. As a result of that, yeah, once the actual at war -200 goes away, I'm hopeful we can actually begin trade with Egypt again. So, next up, back onto the boats, please, and now onto the island itself. They need to kill these guys. It's only 1,000 guys. They don't even have high morale, so that is going to be no problem whatsoever. We're just doing a quick hop across the water here, and then I think, actually, we've got a bit of a siege on our hands. So, enemy has been captured. Yeah, this is now a siege. But it shouldn't be a major siege. It's only a level 1. This is a decent quality general. This shouldn't be a problem. And also, the Archon has become modest. Does that actually have any impact whatsoever? Power cost -1%. Fine, so I can use my abilities with the various currencies a little bit more cheaply. And, ooh, hang on. The following alliances or league members are considering leaving us. Right, why do Macedon hate us? I don't know, because they seem to actually like us, so tell you what, I might just actually spend a little bit of currency improving the opinion over time. There we go, beautiful. Hopefully that'll keep them on board. Ah, but I get the specific warning, they're planning to declare war on me, my allies, or my league members. Right now my only ally is Macedon, and I've got no league members. If Macedon are planning to... Uh-oh. So as a result of that... Patri, I'd like you to upgrade the fortress, please. Let's just get some fortresses built here, because this could actually be trouble. And actually, you know what? I know a really good place for a fortress if we're potentially looking at war with Macedonia. Right here, because a fortress right here will pass on benefit to here, and to here. In fact, actually, hang on. Patri isn't even necessarily the most sensible place for a fortress, because the zone of control from here would be exerted out to... Ooh, hang on. No. Right, okay. No, I've got a better plan, actually. I'm going to... Okay, I won't destroy this fortress yet, but I'm going to build a mega fortress right here. Still, if we're lucky, we can wrap up this war first, because I'm a little bit worried about what Macedon might be planning here. And actually... Apulia, how are you guys feeling about me right now? We're slowly getting there. I'm going to actually send them some money. There we go. I've sent them some money. They're still not keen, but actually, hang on. Offer alliance. No. Okay, I could offer them a guarantee, but they're too powerful because we're the same rank. But we're getting there on offer alliance. Siege of Kos is won. That was nice and fast. That military tech investment I've been making, that's good stuff. Right, boat, come over here and... Oh, yeah, they're breaking the alliances. Okay. I'm a little concerned about this. I'm starting to get... Ooh, hang on. There's 5,000 men here. That's fine. I've got 19,000 men. So they've actually been training men like nobody's business as part of a desperate last stand. But, no. They don't have anything. It's just a bunch of flipping archers. We can just absolutely destroy them. No problem whatsoever. One more siege. Okay, so... Macedon has broken off the alliance. I need a new alliance, like, in a hurry, just in case Macedon causes problems for me. Okay, for the time being, I just need to wrap up this war. And I shouldn't need to be too worried about this, because even if I get poor dice rolls, because I'm getting so many modifiers, this should be done nice and fast. Because as a reminder, you need to actually roll a 20 in order to actually get a surrender. The dice can only come down between 1 and 14, so therefore you need modifiers to make up the shortfall. And I'm arriving with modifiers of +4 before the siege even begins. And there we go, for me, siege phases every 27 days. So that has definitely been reduced just because of the amount of tech I'm taking. So we are making fast progress here. And there we go, we got a really lucky early victory right there. So we're now up to 7. And we've captured a handful of slaves. That's great. They've been sent over to Ellis itself. So that's now literally everything. All of Kos has now been taken. But the war score is only 7. It needs to be 10 before we make any demands whatsoever. Get in the boats. We need to get the war score up. It will start ticking up over time because I've taken the province that was the war goal. But I can speed that up a little bit by doing some more damage to Egypt over here. So I may as well just go and smash some of this territory. I might even be able to take some of it in the settlements. And here we go. I'm seeing what's going on here. Let's just actually, land some troops right over here. So that's going to be... well, that should be a war, to be honest. I'm not sure why that wouldn't be a fight. Possibly they're about to actually walk away. So they've got about 10,000 troops here. I'm going to take this territory. They're not bothering to defend themselves for some reason. Okay, I would have thought they'd run in to try and actually defend themselves, but apparently they're not interested in that, so I'll just take some more territory off you, why not? And yeah, there's 2 more territories around here. This territory with no fortification being held by 10,000 Egyptian troops. This territory right here, level 1 fortification. Well, even though we're crossing a strait, we should be able to win this one, right? Oh, they're walking away again. Right, they don't want to do this. They're a little bit nervous, actually. Right, well, we'll head over there, see what we can do. We'll just take this territory. But they are falling further and further back. And military tradition, isn't that just lovely? And actually, hang on, I think they're all trireme cost down. That's not too bad. Trireme offense. Now, that's not bad at all. Because if I do go to war with Phrygia, the navy's going to be a big part of it. But if I take this one, even though I don't need it right now, that means next time, siegecraft, siege ability plus 10%. That's not bad at all. But just in case Macedon's about to cause trouble, yeah. You know what? Let's make sure I've got a good naval advantage here. I'm going to take trireme offense. Okay, down to 16,000 troops, but these guys are now out of places to run. They have no choice but to fight here, though they do have the straight advantage. This is apparently going to be a bit of an even fight, but I'm confident I've got the numbers here. They've got plenty of heavy infantry. I've got heavy infantry too. And I say that, there's just been... that's okay. There's been a bit of murdering going on here. I'm definitely losing troops faster than them, but you know what? I'm actually going to get my navy around over here. Guys, come over here and just help out with that. We are... oh! Never mind, we won! Sorry, I wasn't actually expecting to win there, but we did. Well, that's just marvellous. Never mind, cancel the move. I was kind of assuming we were going to lose, but we won. It turns out I'm accidentally a military genius. So, 8,800 troops remain. That works for me. We're now back into a healthy profit because dead men don't need paying. Now, we can just help ourselves to this place too. Is it any good? I can't remember if it's actually any good. That's wine. That's actually iron. Having bonus excess iron never hurts. And another very lucky early victory right there. Pops captured, slaves sent to Ellis, up to, 20 in war score. Now, what can we get for that? The Egyptian Aegean Islands to Achaia, that's only a war score of 3. That's not too bad at all, but, Caria Literalis, that's actually a bit more on the expensive side, so, actually, looks like they'll just about go for it because I've actually got all of the capitals occupied. And you know what? I'm going to be asking for a little bit of money too. And oh, hang on. I might be able to extort a bit of money. Hang on. Oh, 500 gold. Seriously? Right. Okay. I can extort a fair bit of money out of Egypt here. They're willing to pay some very significant war reparations. They would apparently go for 535 gold. Wow, you know what? That's good, because that pays for the mercenaries I need to not die at the hands of Macedon momentarily. And there we go. We have taken everything we could want there. Love it. So as for the Kosians, yeah, you know what? We'll put them to death. Everybody goes to death. And they pay me a giant pile of money. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's good. That's really, really good news right there. Right, ships, you guys return home. Though I can't help but notice the Empire is starting to get a bit fractured right now, which is it's all over the flipping place. And yeah, if we go over here to Egypt, we're down to only -13 with them. They don't like the fact we've got aggressive expansion, but they don't hold a grudge about the war at all. And as a result of that, they're happy to start selling us dates immediately. And for the other slot, I think I'll just take hemp because, yeah, local slave output. We have got more and more slaves showing up. That's probably a good thing right there. Also, hang on, I thought I remembered to break you down. Apparently I forgot to break you down. Right, you're being broken down right now. Lovely. And we're back up to a surplus of 15 gold. Love it. And enough money being floated that, yeah, if need be, we can mass employ mercenaries and deal with Macedon that way. So let's have a look see at the new acquisitions here. These guys are officially part of the Greece area, so they have the same governor as all of our existing territories, but they are part of a new province, the province of the Aegean Islands. So I bet you'll be shocked to hear I'm going to start encouraging trade, because why would you do anything else? Yeah, I think that needs rebalancing. Just, I don't know why you'd ever do anything other than encourage trade right now. And yeah, as it's actually a sub-region, we may as well just start growing it as fast as possible. Bring in some grain, please. They've already got access to fish. So in which case, yeah, bring in livestock too. But here are the big guys over here, of course. One, this is actually a new region, because just a reminder, the game's divided up in 3 different ways. There are cities, which we're all very familiar with, provinces, you'll be familiar with those by now, but there's also regions. And the short version is, each region needs a governor. Now technically, the islands I've just taken over with the Silk are part of Asia, not Greece, so therefore they get their own governor, and any more acquisitions I actually get in this area would also be under that governor. So, let's bring a governor in and, ooh. Okay, apparently there aren't many particularly good governors. This guy is not spectacular. Many because he's dying of cancer. Right, well, okay, until you die, you can be governor. Because, yeah, for the moment at least, you'll do a good job. You'll get unrest down. So, that's nice because you're generous. That's very important. And, oh, automatically he actually went over to the trade policy. I love it. Now this place is going to be a bit more difficult to keep happy than some of the places we've had so far, because it's not part of our home region, it's not part of our capital province, and there's probably a bunch of people with unfamiliar religions, ethnicities, all sorts. So yeah, we've actually got a Kemetic Macedonian over there, 3 Hellenic Aegeans, Kemetic Macedonians, Jewish Hebrew, Kemetic Macedonian again, so these guys probably aren't 100% on me. Now, I have been saving up some religious power, so I think we're actually going to just convert some of these individuals immediately. There we go, start converting, please. This costs a little bit, but it's not too much. Right, so that's cheered those guys up, probably. Still, on the plus side, their unhappiness is only contributing a tiny amount of unrest. However, the warm period, devolved administration, open temples, that's more than counteracting that. So for the meantime, I don't need to worry about counteracting that unhappiness. Instead, I can just focus on growth. So obviously bring in some grain, that's the best way to boost growth right there. And I'm actually going to bring in some olives, because that does boost slave happiness, and we're going to have a fair few slaves in this territory as time goes by. And we also need to fortify the hell out of this place because, yeah, with the Straits, it does actually have a land border with Phrygia. So, we don't want to let them come and do anything bad to us. This place has, yeah, 1 training camp and 1 fortress. This place has double training camp. No, get rid of that. Instead, build up the fortresses. It is crucially important that we never lose the island of Kos, because that silk is way too valuable to give up. And here's the other thing. We need as much silk as possible, as quickly as possible. So that means we need 15, or I think actually to be precise, 17 slaves, because yeah, I've got a high tax rate on right now. Though I might be willing to lower that to 15, we'll see. I need 17 slaves in this territory as soon as possible. So, Kalymnos has no slaves whatsoever. This tiny island here has 1. So you are going to be moved because it's very cheap to move a slave. Congratulations, you now live on Kos. We're going to be needing a lot more than that, though. Hang on, I need to figure out the rules here, because how do we move slaves over to Kos? Because the weird thing is, yeah, I was just checking out the Aegean Islands here. So, this spot right here, Tinos, they can transfer people to, obviously, the other two cities in my region, but they can also send people over to Delos right there, and Chios over here. Now, Chios is most definitely, hang on, let's just double check this, Chios is in Asia. So therefore, I can demonstrate that it's possible to transfer a slave from Greece into Asia. So it's probably because these guys have a shared sea cell. So Chrysos right here, you can move over to, yes, you can move over to Carpathos right there. But the problem is, Carpathos doesn't seem to be able to send them over to my new acquisitions. Now, I could send them to Rhodes, that's absolutely fine, but the problem with Rhodes is, Rhodes doesn't actually belong to me. Rhodes instead belongs to these bastards. Though Phrygia's actually at war right now. Phrygia's getting messier and messier. Phrygia is at war right now with a few different people. Not massive people, mind, but enough to keep them busy for the time being. I'd also like to point out that Macedon officially has a debuff on their relationship with me right now, because they are actively planning my demise. So in case you thought there was any room for interpretation, no, they are planning to murder me. Got it. Alright, time to reinforce everything here. Get rid of this fortress right here. That's not doing me any good, but a fortress on Andros itself will at least provide, yeah, a little bit of support over here. So get that into production right there, please. We've already got a major fortress being constructed right over here. For the time being, this place is so small it can only actually have, yeah, a single building. But all these slaves over here in Patrai that aren't really doing much good, you guys have, yeah, 7 people right now. Deploy a couple of slaves over to, yeah, you guys over to there, you guys over to there, you guys over to there. That gets this place up to 10. Congratulations, that's a new building slot. Get this place up to fortress level 2. Alright, guard this territory. And as for bloody Rome, who have indeed successfully beaten Apulia, I don't even know how they've done it. The AI just cheats on behalf of Rome, I swear. Yeah, 47 cohorts with support of another 9. So those guys have, yeah, about 56 cohorts total. These guys had 68, yet somehow not only failed to take Apulia, they actually managed to lose territory as well, which I consider utter nonsense. But on the other hand, I can't help but notice Rome is a regional power. And as long as Rome is a regional power, that means, in theory, I can actually ally with them. And the thing about Rome is, they're not actively plotting my demise right now. And Macedon are, and oh, I really don't want to do this, but Rome could actually be my best bet for surviving. If I was genuinely thinking about asking Rome for help, then I'd need to get my relationship up with them quite significantly. So yeah, right now, there's not much in the way of positive. Religiously, we're similar, but other than that, yeah. Competing power, opinions not looking great, to be honest. Or I can start sucking up to Phrygia. If I could get them to guarantee me Macedon can't attack me without Phrygia attacking them, which would probably work out well for Macedon, but would at least buy me a little bit of breathing space. Or I could just accept this. I could just accept this and say, Macedon doesn't actually have quite as many troops as it used to. 36 cohorts, 25,000 manpower. Sure, I've got 30,000 manpower. I can afford that many cohorts. I can afford way more than that in the way of cohorts. In fact, I could actually hit them first. 7,000 troops are standing right here. I could just walk in with some mercenaries, destroy them, take all this territory, and say, screw you, you stupid bastards, come and get me, because they can't walk through Phrygian territory. If I knock over this territory right here, all I need to do is hold the strait and keep control of the seas. And the seas won't be a problem. They've got 15 ships right now. I can build more. I could have total control of the seas. Assuming I could locate and kill their fleet. Because there's nothing to stop them having a fleet over here and a fleet over here. But with only 16 ships, they need to transport troops bit by bit. I could pick them off as they landed. Especially now I've got this lovely road network. Ooh, okay. You know what? I say, no sucking up to Rome, no sucking up to Phrygia. Instead, it's flipping time, Macedon. You want to do this? We're going to flipping do this. It's time to show you guys who's flipping boss. I'm going to start building roads right now, okay? We're going to build a road down over to here. I'm just going to make sure we got a road going all the way down this coast too. Wherever it is that Macedon come from, my troops need to be ready to respond to it. And I've got one more trick up my sleeve too. A little change I've been wanting to do for a while, because I mentioned in a previous part, I found it a bit annoying that, yeah, I've got one civic idea and 2 oratory ideas, when the oratory ideas aren't even that good. Well, my capital city has just hit a civilization value of 60, ticking up very, very nicely indeed, because my oratory research has been going by so quickly, because my research in general has been ridiculously fast. And a bonus 10% from emergent capital, because I formed Aegean, that helps too. And 60% is very important, because 60% is when the game starts letting you customize your empire a bit. In particular, the plutocratic republic. So I'm going to need to give up some stability for this, but that means I get to be a republic that much more suits my playstyle. So this is a republic all about making money, specifically through trade. I get 10% bonus to all my trade income forever, and another trade route, and most importantly of all, 2 civic ideas and 1 religious idea, and I think that's actually a really, really damn good combination. So I'd say we're going to do that right now. We are now a plutocratic republic. Boom. And just stability is dropping. It's because we've just rearranged everything. Just sacrifice a quick pig, alright? Everything's going to be fine. So back up to +1, we're going to lose a tiny bit of money, that's fine. We'll be able to get this back up pretty quickly. And when I say pretty quickly, very slowly actually, because our current leader doesn't actually really believe in the gods. So, okay, that's going to take a while to recover. But, here's the good thing right here. Yeah, those bonuses. Look at those bonuses right there. So, civic ideas. Obviously, we're going to be having the capital import routes +3. So we'll be having that right there. And on top of that, now this is where things get interesting actually. So, there is actually, what is it? Yeah, provincial import routes +1, but that's only available at rank 12. So, we'll come back to that one. There's a bunch of other good stuff here though. Yes, complex tariffs for national commerce income up another 20%. So now we can have both of them on simultaneously. And the religious ideas, which are actually pretty damn nice too. And here's the big one for me, and indeed for republics in general. Divine Mandate, monthly tyranny down. That's really, really damn nice. And there's that bonus capital import route. There's that 10%. There's the +1s across the board. Love it. So, up to 11 there, which is very, very nice indeed. And thankfully, because I paused and never unpaused, I think these didn't get cancelled, which they would have been otherwise. I'm just going to double check they're not about to immediately be cancelled, because technically for a split second while time was paused, I didn't actually have the +3 trade route thing on, because they were cancelled when I changed my government. But, hang on, let's just go over to the next month just to be safe here. And, nope, seems to be fine. Good. In which case, another trade route, please, because why not? Ah, here we go. I've already got hemp, and if I actually get the surplus, that's trireme offence plus 10%, which is not bad at all. Plus another 2% to slave output doesn't hurt either, so let's just bring that in from Rome, because why not? And there we go. Now, my triremes are hitting even harder. And I had another thought as well. You see, right now, our army is heavily dependent on heavy infantry and archers, with no effective flanking force. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually get horses into the Empire. Occasionally they show up just for a moment. I think I missed a chance to actually get some into Crete, in fact. But, for the most part, yeah, I think it would be cancelled almost immediately, because strategic trade goods are generally very much in demand. So as a result of that, no one's really willing to trade them away. But when you think about it, camels are basically horses, but like better, because there's more of them, because of the hump. And they do basically fulfill the same role here. They've got high maneuverability, they're effective against archers, effective against light cavalry. So I'd say, let's get some of those guys straight into the army, please. There we go, 19,000 troops on the field right now. And yeah, the flank size should be 5, because we've got 1. We've got 4 camels right now, maybe I'll just get a 5th in. And my flanking cohort should be camels. My main line after the skirmishers are done. It should be the heavy infantry. And there we go. The archers should be right at the front there. Beautiful. And we're still making ridiculous amounts of money, even with that done. So you know what? Let's actually just get an even better army ready to go here, because I'm very nervous about the Macedonian situation. So, one more set of camels just to get that up to 5. So, we've got 5 groups of camels out on the flanks. One more set of archers, just so that's a nice round number. And screw it, let's actually just have 4 more heavy infantry. So, that's a nice round number too. 10 units of archers, 10 units of heavy infantry, 5 camels on the flanks. Love it. And right now we're in bottleneck formation. So yeah, that works well for the heavy infantry. Works a little bit well for the archers, not so much for the camels. But that's still, yes, 60% effectiveness. So probably it's best to stick on that. Well, I guess it's time to stop bothering trying to improve their opinion of us. It's not going to work out, so get rid of that. Don't bother with any of that business. And indeed, cancel military access, because we can't declare war until all of this has been got rid of. So we're going to get rid of that too. Though bear in mind, I can't really attack them without, yeah, Egypt and the Seleucids getting involved. Though we've already established, Egypt kind of can't get involved even if it wanted to, and the Seleucids, let's just say they've got their own problems. So in many ways, we might actually have the manpower to take out Macedon, or at least to take a bite out of them. At the bare minimum, I wouldn't mind just knocking out this area over here, because as soon as that's been knocked out, they've only really got 2 ways into our territory, sea or strait, and we can cover both of them. We might be ready to start taking some territory off Macedon. And if Rome start moving in this direction, we might start having a common threat to me in Rome. They might be more interested in having an alliance. But do I really want that? Would I actually want Rome over here in Greece? When ideally, I'd much rather have stood with Macedon against Rome. Damn it, Macedon. We could have saved the Hellenic world together. But now I have to doom all of us, and it's blatantly your fault. Then again, Rome's doing it again. They're bloody integrating their vassals, who are much more useful than not integrated, but whatever. Once they're done with the integration, they'll only have 47 cohorts. It's not even that much for an empire this size. And sadly, yes, the silk situation's going to take some time to sort out. I was hoping to be able to just ship slaves over from Crete to get that place straight up to 17, but that hasn't worked out correctly. But that's fine. That's all absolutely fine. We'll sort that out in time. We've got plenty of money coming in right now, thanks to the fact I'm now a plutocratic republic, so everything is going to be lovely. But still, the fortresses are going up. The Grand Army is being constructed. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for war with Macedon, and I suspect it could kick off sooner rather than later. We will begin the final preparations for that next time, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nut, and this has been Imperator Rome. Thank you very much, and goodbye. This guy's enjoying that. This guy's enjoying his elephant a bit too much.
Oh my god.
In Fair Verona, we set our scene. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. They've managed to glitch inside one of the buildings. Elephants in the rear! And then in come the chariots!